Hello and welcome. We are Bleeding Tree Gaming. My name is Amy, aka Warpfiend, and I am joined by...
Hello, my name's Tammy, and I am also known as the Autumn Witch.
And today we're taking a look at all of the reveals that were shown off for Warhammer Day. I've got to say, overall, it was a bit of a smaller preview than I think many people were thinking of, but there was some solid things shown off, and I think a lot of people will have gone away happy.
I mean, I think there is like a sort of general vibe out there of people thinking, wait, was that it?
Yeah. We'll get on to that anyway. Let's take a look at the first reveal, which was, as you can see, Admech the Stormlord.
Yep.
Obviously, this is classic Necron character, been using not terrible model for ages, but it obviously is in fine cast at the minute and looking a little the worse for wear. This one, absolutely stunning, seems to capture him perfectly to me.
Yep, it's a Necron and it looks very much like a very good Necron.
Yep, I mean, the Necron Lords all have a tendency to kind of look the same, because I guess there's only so many things you can do with like an armoured skeleton without like a distinguishable face or that.
Yeah.
But it's recognisably Admech at least, and it's a solid model.
Yeah, it looks. I mean, I'm not a Necron person, but that is a very nice, very shiny model.
Yep. And now they did mention that Admech isn't the only Necron model that's coming. There have been rumours that we were seeing maybe 4 Necron characters with the new codex.
Yeah.
We have no indication yet of who they might be, but there have been some rumours flying around. I think if you listened to our last episode, we talked about some of those rumours.
We did.
So yeah, that's the Necron Codex, obviously coming soon.
See, I'm thinking that with the Necrons, because they got such a big push and a refresh last edition, and it's sort of coming out now, I think GW is basically going to be saying, okay, you've had a load of new Necrons, we don't need to do any more Necrons for another 10, 15 years. So get them while they're hot.
See, I'd imagine they probably had a few characters that were designed at the same time as the rest of the range and just didn't come out then for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But seeing Necrons soon. There's some rules for them. I'm not going to go into the rules here. Obviously, we're not really a rules channel that much. Let's just move on to the next one then. So, we have Stilt Boy, the Sidonian Scatter.
I cannot decide if this is gloriously weird or just someone decided to stick a Skitari on a pair of cocktail sticks for a joke and it somehow ended up in the design process.
It is perfect. It does, like they did mention in the reveals, like it was something out of an old John Blanche painting, and I can't quite picture the one in my head, but I can remember like kind of stilty figures walking in the background of them. It's a really cool concept. I just love how crazy they make all the Mechanica stuff.
See, I think this would look better if there was like a unit of 3 of them.
Yeah.
As opposed to just like an individual, because if you want like a really cool sniper for any Imperial force, you've got the Vindica Assassin. Yeah,
that's true.
So this is sort of vying with the Vindica Assassin for that specific slot in the army. So I'm wondering what their thinking was, because I mean they showed the rules for it, and I know we're not a rules channel, but it's basically it can do 1 of 2 profiles on its gun, and it doesn't look overly, hard hitting.
Yeah.
So Yeah, I think if it was like 3 of them in a unit, that would work better. But then you have like the rest of the army, and then you got this dude on stilts in the middle of it, which I don't know.
Does make him a bit of a vulnerable target.
Well, he's apparently got the lone operative key, which means that unless he's the nearest unit, you know, not a rules channel, but maybe we should be. But yeah, he's got the lone operative ability, which means he cannot be targeted by any unit more than 12 inches away, or a unit that doesn't have the precision keyword. So yeah.
Personally, I just think it's a really cool model, and one of the many memes I've seen about this guy was just like extending the legs to be like just even more ridiculous. So I am tempted to pick one up and convert it so he just like literally towers above a Titan on tiny little stilt legs.
Yeah,
and you can see he's got the the Transuranic Arquebus.
I think GW just has a department of people going through Latin dictionaries and making up like as many Latin sounding words as possible when it comes to naming pretty much anything.
I could go on a massive tangent about the names of these, but that's the Adeptus Mechanicus. Obviously, it's coming. I think they said it's coming in a box set with the Necron, and obviously the Codex for Adeptus Mechanicus is also coming up. So moving on, we have Age of Sigmar. Now, this guy, it's the Lord Relictor from like the original Age of Sigmar box set.
Yeah.
Has just gone on this massive quest, and he's been gone for hundreds of years, I think they said. And now he's a much more kind of edgy, badass character. I mean, already he had the skulls and that going on, but now he's got this dragon, and it is just like a much more sinister looking dragon than a lot of the Stormcast stuff.
Yeah,
I just really like this aesthetic for Stormcast. It's very cool.
It's almost teetering on Grimdark.
Yeah, like he's a few steps away from being chaos.
Yeah.
A couple more spikes and a couple of icons on him.
I mean, he is rocking the Space Marine chaplain look.
Yeah,
with the skull helm and his and his like his mace and like the halos and everything, which is cool. I mean, I think that he could be a cool conversion.
Absolutely. I was just thinking like the amount of models you could put on there. Like I can just see like Space Marines riding dragons, or Chaos Space Marines riding dragons. Would be a fun thing.
It would.
So he's obviously coming along with Dawnbringer's Book 3, which we talked about coming. Now, we haven't got the Summer King and the Flesh Eater Courts yet, so obviously they're being saved for further along in the story, and they're just like laying seeds for it now. But like obviously a Stormcast character, that's pretty big. And we also have Kenoi.
The second I saw this, I just had the feeling that you were going to buy this and convert it into like some kind of Forge Fiend or Mauler Fiend for your 1,000 Suns.
Yeah. I already obviously did that with Alariel. And her Giant Beetle worked really well with my 1,000 Suns. This one, oh god. Yeah, there's so many things you could do with it. It's such a cool continuation of that theme with Alariel and the Giant Bug. Plus also Kenoi. Yeah, they're just cool. Yeah, these are beautiful models, and obviously there's the Blades of Belthanos, which is
Yeah.
the like army box thing, the Army of Renown box. Now, obviously, there's other armies of renown coming as well, and I believe they're on here. Yeah, so it's the ogres, the Stormcast, and then obviously the Kenoi.
Yeah.
And I believe there's something for the Fire Slayers.
Yeah. I mean, they talk more about the rules than the models really for them. Like the Magmadroth, is it? Can now be like a transport, something like that. So all your Fire Slayers can hop in and.
Now, from what I know about Fire Slayers, again, like I say, we're not a rules channel. Here I am going in on the rules. Fire Slayers have a big problem with getting to things because they've got stubby little dwarf legs. A transport thing is something they badly needed, to be honest. So that's probably going to be huge for Fire Slayer players.
You know me, I love a ginger dwarf.
Yep, they are cute. They are cute, but there's only one design of them, so... Yeah. Right, moving on, we have Kill Team, which is exactly what we predicted. Well, what everyone already knew it was going to be fair.
I mean, GW aren't very good at keeping anything secret at all.
No. So we have, like, the release of the Scouts kit.
Yeah.
I think I misspoke last time and said that the Scouts were already out. But, yeah, this is the first time we're seeing the Scouts kit.
Yeah, they saved them for this.
Yes. Box. And the Striking Scorpions, obviously. So let's have a look at these. These are obviously the stars since we've seen the Scouts before.
Yeah.
And they are solid models.
They are. They look really good. Yep. I might be tempted to buy a box, even though I don't play Eldar, and it's one of the armies that I really haven't bought anything for. But I do like these models. And if I were to get round to getting into Kill Team, I think this would be a really good team to start with.
Now, there's something I like and dislike about them. Personally, for me, like, the Eldar figures are definitely, like, I like the more slender ones, like the Guardians. Now, these ones, I do like that the close combat ones, they've actually bulked them up, and you can see, like, the extra armor plates that have obviously been grafted onto there. But yeah, I don't know if they'd be my first choice to get for an army. I'm super happy for people that love Striking Scorpions that they're there. They're probably not the aesthetic I'd go for personally, but I can't fault the models. They're absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. And I'm wondering if because it was the Howling Banshees, wasn't it, that got a redo in the last edition. So I'm wondering if we're going to see more of the Aspect Warriors leading up to the Eldar Codex for this edition.
It'd be nice, yes. The thing is with Eldar, they seem to be taking an approach of, like, because it's such a massive range, or there's been so many miniatures released for it, that they're kind of tackling a bit at a time. So maybe we'll get another big chunk coming up soon. I think people would love, like, a second wave of Eldar releases.
Yeah, that would be good, because I mean, they had the aesthetic for the Eldar pretty much down by the end of Rogue Trader.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And a lot of the sculpts from, like, that era, second edition of that, I mean, they were available up until 5-6 years ago, and they still looked good. So I think it's the fact that the range has looked as good as it has for as long as it has, that there might be just a little bit of reluctance to invest in making something that you can't really improve on, like, design wise.
Well, they certainly have like tweaked it and made them like as fully detailed as modern plastics can handle.
Yeah.
And they look solid. Yeah.
Yeah. Proper solid.
And there was also some little bits of scenery, and after missing out on getting Gallo 4 myself, I'm kind of burned out with these actual box sets and the scenery you get in them, because there's some really nice little pieces, but they seem to be tiny runs of them. So
yeah, well, they did say on the stream, didn't they, that there was going to be a terrain set for this box, but it was going to be a separate release.
Yes, it is going to be separate.
Hopefully that means that this box will be cheaper than the previous like main boxes for Kill Team.
Yeah, GW, just give us like reprints of all the Gallo Dark scenery, please. I know they tend to do scenery as more limited run things, but
yeah,
that was too limited. It was impossible to get hold of them.
Yeah, I'm sure at some point down the line there'll be a made-to-order thing for all that scenery, and they've only marked it up by 300% or whatever.
Probably.
Yeah.
Right, so moving on to the last thing, and possibly the biggest thing.
Oh, yes.
We have Bretonnia. So
we do.
There's a bunch of new stuff, and they've kind of clarified a bit what's coming out and when it's coming out. So it's the old world is coming out at the start of next year. So
yeah,
I'd imagine fairly early, like January, February.
Yeah.
And we have a new Lord on Pegasus.
We do, and
it's a very beautiful model.
I really like it. I like how it definitely feels like old Warhammer Fantasy design.
It is, yeah.
The model is very detailed, but it's not busy.
Yes.
That's one of my biggest complaints about more recent models is that there's just so much detail put on you. It sort of confuses the eye a bit.
Yeah, well, they've kind of reverse engineered, like, I'd say Warhammer started from a lot of kind of history buffs who work a lot of like historical stuff, obviously the Empire being like the Holy Roman Empire.
Yeah.
And Bretonnia like being, just like obviously British and French influenced knights.
Yeah.
And as time went on and the like ornamentations on that just got more and more overwhelming, and they started to really kind of develop like these original worlds, a lot of that got lost, and they've kind of gone back to that with this range, and I like the fact that they've scaled it back in that way. Although there are some like ridiculous over the top touches, like the things they've got on the helmets are just
they've always been
and stuff.
Hilariously ridiculous.
They wouldn't be Bretonians without ridiculous headwear. And also when it comes to the actual design, the fact that they're bringing back older kits as well, the new stuff does have to tie in with the old stuff. So it's not a complete range refresh. So they're sort of more grounded towards the previous aesthetic, which I love it. I absolutely love it. So this one, it's Lord on Pegasus. It can also be, I believe it was a Duke or a Baron. Yeah, you can build your choice of a Duke or a high-ranking Baron. So it's obviously your big multi-kit thing. I really, really like this one. I'm not sure if that's the Duke or the Baron, but the twirly mustache is particularly good.
Gotta love a twirly tash.
Yep. And this is a plastic model, unlike the other Bretonian kits that we've seen that were resin. And you can also build the battle standard bearer as well. Yeah. Looks like a cool kit. There's also Knights on Foot, which is a cool unit to have. I believe they didn't have them before. I heard they were missing.
Yeah.
And like, I just love these, just the range of knights and the poses. Like all there's just like beautiful figures of women on top here. Is that like grapes on the left-hand side one? Obviously, the massive eagle wings and the antlers are par for the course.
Yeah. I am liking how they look on the slightly larger bases as well. The model gets to spread out a little bit.
That one's got like a dragon on his hat. That's cool. And there's a bull there. Yeah. They look a cool rank unit, and yeah, certainly like on I said there's a lot about Cities of Sigmar release, but these would be great for any kind of D&D games and stuff like that, as just like your generic knights and things.
Yeah.
And yeah, we also have some of the things that are coming back. We have the Pegasus Knights, which is okay. I guess these are coming back. They're not bad. I think they could probably do with a resculpt at some point down the line. To be fair, these horses look a bit like old school horses.
It does make me wonder what the ratio of new kits to old kits is going to be across the system.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think we've seen about 40% max of new kits with the Bretonnian stuff, but that's not counting characters. So we've got coming back as well the classic Knights of the Realm.
Yep.
Again, the horses look a little goofy, but yeah, I guess so. There's the men-at-arms. The men-at-arms genuinely look pretty good for your basic infantry. Like, I would not complain about mass painting up a few of those. And then you have the
peasantry. Yeah.
So, yeah, there seems to be a lot of resin characters as well, with barely a few plastic kits. But they seem to have been doing pretty well with like the Horus Heresy resin of late. So I think
I mean they've been using it as like a supplement more as than like the crux of the range.
Yeah. So there's the Handmaiden of the Lady here, and this is a beautiful model. It's very Bretonnian aesthetic. I really like this one. And I'm sure it's probably going to be painted up in a few Golden Demon entries.
Oh yeah, definitely.
We still haven't seen a lot of. Oh, there's the field trebuchet there. I'm not familiar with this model. It looks okay.
It was an old metal one. And then I think it became Finecast, and then Age of Sigmar came out, and the kit went away. But they mention on this that it's going to be available in Forge World resin, not Finecast. So, I mean, I know Forge World resin can be a shit, but it's a lot easier to work with than Finecast. But then Forge World resin has Forge World prices, so I mean I get the feeling it's that they're sort of expanding on the made to order thing, that they'll be doing like limited runs of certain old kits like this one in Forge World resin, not like big runs, and you'll pay the premium for it because it's Forge World, but this is a way that more niche kits can be brought back.
Yeah. It's fair enough. I mean, on the whole, I'm kind of disappointed, to be honest. I'd hope there'd be more new stuff for the Bretonnians, but the new stuff we've got is great. I want to come back to these Knights of the Realm on foot, because I really do think they're beautiful. Like, look at this one here. That could be just like a hero in another army. Yeah. I'm also playing Elden Ring at the minute, and these these could be straight out of that if you grimdark them up a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, like, I know it's going to be a slow rollout, but I would have liked to have seen some of the more obviously aged resin kits get replaced at the start. But I guess, like, it's been a very long development for this. Obviously, there's a lot of armies that need developing and stuff like that. So perhaps we can give them some time to build on it, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're gonna see like a big wave of, like, say, 2 or 3 boxes per army.
Yeah, that'd probably be the way they start initially.
Yeah,
like, doubling them out,
and then move into more actual, like, newer stuff closer to the release of. I don't know if they're still going to be using like the army book way of doing it. But they'll bring back like a high elf dude on a dragon and some spearmen. You get like your like a wood elf character brought back with some infantry, same with dwarves and everything. So
yeah,
I think that there will be a lot re-released very early next year. But then for like the newer stuff, for the armies that aren't Bretonnia and Tomb Kings, you're gonna have to wait a bit longer for the new stuff for them to come out.
Fair enough. I really hope we get to see soon the Tomb King full lineup. I don't know if they'll have more models than we've already seen. I'd assume so. Obviously, they've said that a lot of that stuff's coming back. They haven't.
Yeah.
With Bretonians, obviously, because the painting style was so unique and different across every model before, they have kind of condensed that into this. They can all wear like their lord's colours or whatever.
Yeah.
I would also like to see the similar thing with Tomb Kings, although they are obviously a bit more uniform. Like, oh, here are some new paint schemes, and here are some new things you can do with them. Yeah.
I mean, I'm hoping they get the same amount of new stuff as Bretonnia has, because these are the 2 forces that seem to be the most missed after Age of Sigmar came in. A lot of people who'd spent like years and years on their Bretonians and their Tomb Kings forces suddenly had these great big armies that GW were no longer supporting.
So anyway, I think on the whole, like, there's been some good reveals. It's been a little bit fewer than I'd have liked. There's obviously there's been a fair amount for Bretonians, if not quite as much as I'd like. We've had the kill team, which I think we already knew about, so might have lessened the impact of. But yeah, good stuff. All that's there is good. I rate it.
Yeah.
How do you think?
I think it's good, but there should have been a little bit more. It's Warhammer Day. It's the 40th anniversary of Warhammer. It felt kind of like a sort of mid-year type thing, not an anniversary special.
Yeah, I get that. I think it was just like, this is the products we've got left to launch coming up soon. Have some information about them.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, we'll wrap this up here and see you for the next awards show. We've got some more video content coming soon.
What are you working on then, Amy?
I am working on a Tyranid Warrior at the minute, and also a Big Pig for October, if I can get it done in time for the end of the month.
I've got an OSL experiment, because you did a really good video on OSL with the Count Dooku miniature, and I have nowhere near the patience for that. So I'm gonna try and do almost like a slap chop OSL thing, and it could go really, really well, or it could go really, really badly. But the video will go up regardless.
Lovely, lovely. Well, look forward to that. We've been Bleeding Tree Gaming, and we will catch you in the next one. Bye
See
bye.
ya. Bye.